There is nothing new. Everything we're seeing now, we've seen before. It's just because of the digital age, it's on steroids. Fake news designed to appeal to the sort of darkest conspiratorial sides of people. It's just that now it's on steroids. Instead of being like one supermarket counter, it's available widely to everybody. And I do think it's always been a problem of Americans, and probably others too, but I think more about Americans, in discerning fact from fiction. But I think it's insidious. I think it hurts us. I think it puts more pressure on us to be honest and honorable. And I think I blame two groups. I blame the politicians who sometimes retweet fake news and spread it if it sort of fits their worldview. And I also think the big social media sites like Facebook have to work harder to police it. I believe I am a First Amendment absolutist, which means if you want to set up a website that traffics in fake news, I think that's your right. We have laws where people can sue you, et cetera, but I think you should be exposed. I personally try to make sure that people don't know where I stand on political issues. I know that feels always odd for people to hear, but I don't tweet political opinions. When I'm at dinner parties, I, bite my tongue. I don't go to marches. I don't participate in anything that's overtly political. The only time I'm critical of government or anybody is when it has to do with issues where people are going after the integrity of my profession. I mean, I've been critical of the Trump administration, for instance, for saying things about the media that I think are designed to undermine the media. But by and large, it makes some. I mean, I've had reporters who work for me say to me, "So you mean because I work for the New York Times, I have to give up my First Amendment rights?" And my answer is yes, sort of you do. What you get in exchange is access and authority that you would not have had. But I think that people have the reasonable expectation that the editor of the New York Times keeps his feelings to himself. This always shocks people. Almost all of my friends now, because I started working newsrooms when I was 20 and I'm 60 now, almost all of my friends, with the exception of a couple of high school friends, are journalists. I do not think I know for sure the political views of any of them. There are a couple who I think were probably conservative, but I have no idea. We don't talk about it. It becomes part of your nature just not to talk about this stuff. It drives some people crazy. I had my late father-in-law, who was a sort of classic New York lefty, it drove him nuts. This was his dream come true. He grew up on the New York Times. His son-in-law, I couldn't believe it, was the executive editor of the New York Times. And he would say to me, "What do you think of X?" And I would say, well, I think it just made him nuts. But I think you just have to, it's a part of yourself that you just have to shut off.